one of our favorite segments, if not the, and we're so happy to have this every single weekday, is a little thing we call a chat with Pat.
Yes, and today we have with us the Vocations Director for the Diocese of Toledo, Father David Kidd. Father, how you doing today?
Good to be with you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. Hey, you're doing wonderful things here in our diocese. And I really want you maybe to talk a little bit more, since we are also in Michigan and Montana, what we're seeing nationwide, and are there, as far as vocations are concerned. And then also, how are you tapping into those things? And then what are you finding successful here in our diocese? So let's jump in and talk to us a little bit, Father, about what are the trends we're seeing nationwide, and what are there things that the national group of directors of vocations are kind of promoting and getting into their diocese?
Yeah, sure. No, yeah, happy to share.
Thanks.
Nationwide, just in the last couple months, the United States has ordained roughly about 405 new priests across the country. That's diocesan, that's religious. What we're finding, of course, is the trend line. The age of the men being ordained is dropping, going down. So the guys are younger. Regarding things that have helped them kind of in their own particular discernment, the top two things they talk about are a visit to the seminary, and then they talk about a Quo Vadis retreat, which is like a high school retreat led by seminarians. So it's something that, like, I'm picking up on it. I'm noticing that too. Kind of a younger trend too with seminarians as well. Still getting guys that are out there working, or maybe have a little bit of a career before kind of entering seminary. But it's kind of been something that I've noticed as well. But for me, it's something noticing guys are being motivated by making a visit to the seminary. They're also being motivated by a retreat experience. Something I've wanted to provide then more opportunities for our guys that are discerning what God's calling them to. So that's something actually I've been wanting to do, is increase the number of visits to the seminary, knowing that's a big thing for them. Like 51% of guys say that's the thing that helped. It was the last thing they did that really moved the dial for them to enter seminary. But also, too, it's that Quo Vadis retreat. So we are having, actually, in just about 2 to 3 weeks, we're having our Quo Vadis retreats, which is for high school and then also middle school.
Okay.
July 31st into August 3rd. And it's a grab, too, because we have, God willing, we have 9 new guys that are going to be starting this fall for our diocese, which is the largest increase in 2 decades for us.
That's great.
And part of that is offering this Quo Vadis retreat. 4 of our 9 new guys actually went on this Quo Vadis retreat last year. So those are kind of the national trends where then I'm picking that up and I'm saying, well, then how do we can apply that then to the things that we offer for guys discerning the priesthood, and definitely trying to take full advantage of that.
So, Father, you said we have in our diocese Quo Vadis retreats coming up. Now, you're offering 2 different ones, right? One for high school and one for middle school. How will they differ?
Great. Yeah, so the high school one is a 3-day, 2-night, July 31st to August 2nd. And part of that is actually the bishop's going to be coming to that one, which will be really cool. Being able to have dinner with the guys and be able to have mass for them and actually lead a kind of a candlelit Eucharistic procession that we'll do for the high school guys.
Wonderful.
It's also, we'll do a little bit more intensive physical activities with the guys. I think we're going to do the high ropes with them at Camp Miaconda. And but for our middle school guys, both retreats are being led by our seminarians, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
For our middle school guys, definitely just developing that habit of prayer. Both will have the opportunity for small group conversations. Of course, opportunities to swim, which is always good in the hot temperatures that we have these days. But, it's kind of just equipping those middle school guys with those basic good habits of prayer, of virtue, that are needed to really help discern what God's calling them to.
That's great. So I know we're talking a lot about priestly vocations, but is there any special movement for young women who want to be discerning their call to religious life? What's happening in that area?
Yeah, it seems like in just conversations with different religious orders and the kind of the vocation directors and the communities that we have here in our diocese, definitely seems to be an experience of young women desiring a greater relationship with the Lord and a greater sense of fulfillment, and seeing that in kind of the externals lived out in religious life. So that horarium of prayer, that time of community, the habit being worn, veil being worn, really, I think, affirm for them this is a clear direction they're going in their lives. We have a couple of temporary vow ceremonies actually coming up that for the Ann Arbor Dominicans, which will be taking place at the end of July, and then in mid-August, the Sisters of Mercy of Alma, Michigan, are also having their temporary and final vows right around always the feast of the Assumption, August 15th.
Wonderful.
So exciting times for them. And I think that's one of the things when some people think of religious life, I think it's helpful to see for young ladies, they make that initial postulants a year or novitiate year, and then they take time to discerning whether or not to enter into temporary vows.
Okay.
And they're in that for a couple of years, which could be renewed before then actually making those final vows, which could be 7, 8, 9 years from when they first started.
Right. And I think that's because a lot of people always think like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to go to the seminary or I want to enter a religious order. And it's kind of like, they don't ordain you or you don't take your final vows at the end of the first year. I mean, the whole thing is a discernment process, right? And I always, yeah, I know. I always remind people of that. You got plenty of time, but if you want to discern, it's good to go there, and that should be part of your discernment process. So, Father, how do you see the difference between, like, if you're getting younger seminarians coming in maybe right out of high school versus guys that may have been in the working world for a while? Is there a difference in the way you deal with them in formation?
Well, there's definitely, what I notice is just the needs of formation are a bit different. So sometimes those, for the younger guys, it's kind of those basic formative skills of, having conversations with people, working a large group. How do you work a large group of people? Or maybe a guy who's been working and having a career, he's used to giving presentations. He's used to having formal dinner meetings. He's used to having one-on-ones with people. So the skill sets, I think, are, of course, a little more advanced for a guy that's been working, had a career for a little while before discerning the priesthood. I find that the guy who's been working for a little bit, they really are very very discerning of looking at religious life as well as diocesan life. I think sometimes the younger guys, they look at religious life very much so, but kind of their most immediate experience, of course, is their parish priest,
right?
Which is great.
Yeah.
And in that, often it's a diocesan priest, and so in that they're very much inspired by the example the joyful priests lived out in their parish.
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head in the sense that a lot of people are attracted when they see joy. When they see joy in their parish priests, when they see joy in the sisters that they deal with, they're saying, yeah, what is that? I want to get that in my life. So that's so important. Thank you so much, Father Kidd, for being with us today.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a great week ahead.
Thank you. You as well. God bless you all.
Bye-bye.